Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to whoever, wherever, whenever you are. My silly goobers. It is Tuesday, late in the afternoon, May 5th, 2026. I thought I would tell you I've already done Clayface. You know, I tend to break down trailers of what I think, whether it's The Mummy, The Bride, Clayface, Mortal Kombat. What else? I've done a whole bunch of predictions of what I think and things of that nature. The Resident Evil trailer had come out. It came out Friday. Thursday, Friday of last week. And I've watched it numerous times trying to understand it. Trying to give it a chance. Trying to have it grow on me. And honestly, it's nice to know that I'm not the only one who is thinking the same thing. That is not Resident Evil. That is not Resident Evil. That is... So if you guys have watched the Netflix live action series and you were just as disappointed as me, you understand where I'm coming from. It's marketing. And basically this movie just slaps on the name Resident Evil. Now the director had said, I don't know his full last name, Zach. The director named Zach, he is well known. He is the director behind Weapons and Barbarian. Well, I have not watched Barbarian. It did not interest me. Weapons, it interested me and it didn't interest me. It interested me to go, oh, so is this the kind of Piper? Is this a witch? You know, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't watch it in theaters. I've seen bits and pieces of it, read about it. And basically, it's just, people loved it. Me, personally, I think it was a total mess. Because you have 4 or 5 different chapters, and each chapter is a different character. So you have the teacher, you have the dad of one of the missing children, you have the police officer, you have this guy who has a very bad habit, and then you have the witch or the aunt. So you have all of these stories basically building up to the climax. And I've even seen bits and pieces of the movies watching it. I just couldn't get into it. Couldn't get into it. Things of that nature. The execution just bugged the crap out of me, you know. So basically, I have watched this trailer several different times, and I did not get any vibe of Resident Evil. So basically, according to the director, it is its own original story. It is not going to take place. There's not going to be any characters that we know. There's not going to be Claire, Chris, Jill. There's not going to be Leon. There's not going to be any of the characters we know and love. They're not going to be there. It is its own story. Well, if that's the case, then it would have been cool, in my opinion, that they could have done Outbreak. Right? Outbreak was what you would call a filler chapter. Not part of the main franchise, but a filler chapter. Which later becomes essential to Resident Evil Requiem. Resident Evil 9 Requiem. Because one of the characters in Outbreak, And Outbreak happened to be the mother of Grace, or someone who was looking after Grace. So if you played Resident Evil 9, you know what I'm talking about. If you guys have not and don't want any spoilers, well, you either have to play the game or probably go on YouTube or whatever. Basically, let's just say one of the characters from Outbreak happens to play a huge part in Resident Evil 9, and thus giving the whole sort of face your demons, face the past, no more running back to where it all began, which is Grace. So that kind of thing is there. Alright. So, they could have done Outbreak a live action. I'm watching this trailer and I don't see or feel any vibes of Resident Evil. No. I don't feel it, I don't see it. It just looks like the guy, the main protagonist, is at a wrong place, wrong time kind of thing. There is nothing that says Raccoon City, Umbrella, RPD. There's nothing. It looks like almost as if, when you see Claire first enter the city, it's kind of deserted. She goes into the diner and she starts to see zombies everywhere, and she's learning, looks like everyone else is learning, what happened. Now, Zach says he's like the avatar of us. We're not equipped, blah, blah, blah. We're not experts. Well, neither were the rest of the characters. They weren't actually experts. They were just doing their job. You have Alpha Team on a search and rescue mission for Bravo Team. Bravo didn't know what was going on because they were doing their mission, and it all became this huge thing. In Resident Evil 2, Claire was a college student looking for her brother, and Leon was a rookie cop who, if you're following the lore from the original Resident Evil 2 game, he broke up with his girlfriend the day before his first day of work, went to a bar and just drank a lot as he should, ends up passing out, and finds himself in the middle of the outbreak. Well, as they're learning what happened, it's going on like that. In this, it doesn't seem like he's going to learn what's happened. It seems like he's just thrusted. It seems that wrong place, wrong time, because he ends up having car trouble. He goes into a house, tries to call his girlfriend, and he starts seeing a lot of messed up stuff. Now, there's a scene in the trailer where you see hands and legs and feet coming out of the door. That doesn't look like Resident Evil at all. That looks more like Silent Hill or a really bad, like a science fair project gone wrong. It would have been better if it was a liquor or those Doberman Pinscher police dogs. Like a pair of eyes coming at her. That would have been better. You see him going through what looks like the city now. And he's running through, the streets. And he looks up ahead, and on the side of the building, looks like zombies are coming out. And they are literally throwing themselves off the building, hitting the cars, getting obliterated. I see, and he then goes into the sewer because he goes into try to retreat. And you see this pale-looking creature, human-like thing. Once I saw that, I'm thinking Hellraiser or that bedridden vampire imp thing that you see in Blade from the first movie. Or something out of Pan's Labyrinth when, the Pale Man. It looked like the Pale Man had gained some weight. From Guillermo del Toro's, I know I butchered his name, Guillermo del Toro, who was well known for Pan's Labyrinth. He directed Hellboy. Believe it or not, he directed the second film of Blade. He also did The Shape of Water. What what else? One of his older and sort of earlier projects called The Devil's Backbone, which is one of my favorite movies from him. So yeah, it looked like that came out of one of his stories. It's just like, what is that? So it looked like it doesn't make any sense. There's something that's coming out of what looks like a tub. Yeah, there's nothing. It looks like 28 days later. You know? Happening in winter in America, not in London, not in the middle of summer. It looks like more of a wrong place, wrong time. Or it looks like it could have been more of a So with Barbarian, I didn't watch it. I know there's a clip. There's a scene where the girl escapes the house. There's a homeless man who helps her out that house. And you see a glimpse of the creature, of the mother, whatever she was. And the girl's saying, we gotta go back in. We gotta go back in. We gotta go to the police, blah, blah, blah. We can't come there. And the homeless guy goes, the police aren't gonna help. You know, you gotta get out of here. You gotta go before night comes, because she comes out at night and she roams around. So it looks like that looks more of an extension of that story. Like there's more creatures like her. There's more going around like that. It just looks like he had car trouble, went to get a phone, and found himself at the wrong place, wrong time. That's the vibe that I'm getting. I'm not getting Resident Evil. I'm not getting any of that stuff. Clearly, this director did not know what Resident Evil is. If you wanted to make your own zombie movie, okay, cool. Don't put Resident Evil on it. Don't put the name. Don't slap it on. That's exactly what Netflix tried to do with their Resident Evil, and it failed miserably. Changing things that don't need to be changed. From the backstories towards the characters. It was just like, you guys don't know what you're doing. You guys were not paying attention to the source of material. If you're gonna make a Resident Evil movie, you need to pay attention to the source of material. Daggone, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City had more of that vibe of Resident Evil than anything else. Yes, the execution sucked. I'm aware a lot of characters changed when it didn't need to be changed. Leon looked like some, like... I don't mind. I've never minded gender swaps. I never minded race changes. As long as the actor, the artist, has made me believe that they are that character, I'm good. You know, it's not the actor's fault. It's the director's fault. The actor is just doing what the director's telling them to do. But the actor's job is to make us believe that they are that character. Now, like I said, 9 out of 10 of that time, it's the director's fault. You know, is it what the artist did, or how the final execution was done? You know, if it was the actor's way of doing it, then that's the actor's fault. But if it's the director's sense of direction, then shame on the director for putting that artist, that actor, in that situation. And that's exactly what that movie is. Shame on the director. Shame on the producers. Shame on the studio for not really, really reading into it. Not the actors. The actors are doing their job. Their job is to act. That's that. Now, there are some actors who really take it seriously, such as Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson, first time when he came out from the shadows of Iron Man in the first ever Iron Man movie, which kickstarted the whole MCU, the cinematic universe, and Samuel L. Jackson came out of the shadows to tell Tony Stark if he was interested in the Avenger Initiative. I didn't see Samuel L. Jackson. I saw Nick Fury. Same thing with Gary Oldman when he did Commissioner Gordon in the Dark Knight trilogy. I saw Commissioner Gordon. Same thing with J.K. Simmons, yes. When he was doing his rendition of Jim Gordon for Justice League with Ben Affleck being Batman. I saw Jim Gordon. Same thing with this gentleman, I think his last name is Faust, who played Jim Gordon in The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson as the title character. Now, when I saw him, I was like, that's Jim Gordon. I saw Jim Gordon. That's all. All of these actors playing this character, creating this same character, made me feel that's Jim Gordon. You're Jim Gordon. That's the actor's job, to make you believe that they are that character. That's what they're doing. And they have to follow the direction of the director. They can only do that by following the direction of the director. So, I don't blame the actress who played Jill Valentine. I blame the director and whoever wrote that writing. The writers, I guess the writers are the more to blame. Making her a gun-toting person. She's not. She's disciplined. Making Wesker looks like a wise guy and a prankster. Wesker doesn't care. He wears sunglasses at night. And he's the captain. Chris was more of the, I think you could, was it second command? It's been a second command. And also, Wesker admired him in the sense of, you are one of my best men. Because he could go by the book. Leon was a rookie cop. Naive, yes. But he was a rookie. 21 years old. The Leon that was portrayed in the movie was just like stupid. Like stupid. Like doesn't know what to do, stupid. Like in the corner, Leon wasn't like that. Leon was like, what is that? And then goes, okay. Goes, pa pa pa, pa pa pa, pa pa pa. Clicks. This guy didn't click. Even Claire had to go, are you done? Can we go? Not only that, the way Welcome to Raccoon City was portrayed was the events of the game Resident Evil 3 may not have happened, period, of course. If they would have done it with 2 and 3, because 2 and 3, they kind of happen at the same time. If they would have done it like that, and Jill is remembering or telling Claire about what happened in the Spencer Mansion, how this all started, we would see flashbacks. I think if they would have done it that way, it would have worked. That's just me. But this new trailer, no. Maybe when more trailers are being shown, released, maybe my opinion will change. And a lot of people say, yeah, we're never going to be happy. Yeah, we're never going to be happy until we actually get an adaptation that is done correct. That is done right. That's when we'll be happy. We know what we want. This is the whole what the fans want versus what we think the fans want. We told you what we wanted. We want to see the characters. Yes, we understand that they're not always going to be 100% right compared to the games. We understand that. If you can give us 85, 92%, we could. We could. But until we get that, we are never going to be good. Now, the trailer is not Resident Evil. It's not giving me Resident Evil vibes. There is nothing that says Raccoon City, RPD, Umbrella, nothing that says stars. There is nothing that is even remotely putting into the chaos. That trailer, when Requiem was coming out, what was it? The Dead Remember by Resistance of Evil. I believe it was by them. That had more Resident Evil vibe to it You had Nemesis, you had explosions, you had zombies, you had the collection, Umbrella. That was more Resident Evil than this trailer. There is nothing. This looks like... This is not Resident Evil. It's not Resident Evil. If you guys out there who've seen the trailer, if you guys think it's Resident Evil, okay, cool. The guy didn't know what he was talking about. Obviously, it doesn't seem like he's either played the game or doesn't know much about the lore. I'm all for trying to do a movie that is of the universe, but that trailer has nothing to do with the universe. It just looks like, take Resident Evil, slap it on, rebrand it, and there you go. There's your Resident Evil. No. The only person that knew what Resident Evil was the late George A. Romero, who was going to make a Resident Evil movie by the book, or at least closely by the book, and it was shut down. So yeah, no, in my opinion, there is nothing Resident Evil about it. It just looks like it's an extended universe of Barbarian. There is nothing of Resident Evil. There's no... Even if there was no mention of the actual characters, it would have been cool to see like news clippings or radio snippets of what's going on. That would have been cool. But that didn't work out. That didn't work out. In my opinion, it didn't work out. So, what do you guys think? If you guys seen the trailer, let me know what you guys think. Honestly, I just think it's a total waste. That is not my Resident Evil. That is not Resident Evil. It's not.